Hello, everybody, wherever you may be. My name's Larry. My call sign's Kilo 7 Hotel November. From around the world, welcome back to the Shack. It's Ham Radio Live. Ask you to please subscribe. I don't intentionally monetize this channel whatsoever. However, YouTube has decided to do it for me, believe it or not. And not something I'm excited about, if you know what I mean. So please hit that subscribe button. It'll help people find the channel here on YouTube that might just have an interest in ham radio. And we do appreciate your subscribing. Thank you so much. I am blown away by the number of people who do. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to welcome you to Shack here in Oregon. My name's Larry. My call sign's Kilo 7 Hotel November. At some point, the applause will start. Give it a moment. The computer is a little bit slow today. But I want to welcome you to the show. We'll just move on to the next scene. If you'd like to get into ham radio, we would love you to do that. Now, some people think ham radio is like something Grandpa used to do. I get it, but it's not just something Grandpa used to do. There are some amazing ham radio transceivers out there that would blow your mind. I mean, really make you impressed. Ham radio is the original social media. It really is. It allows you to talk to people all over the world and make some lasting friendships wherever you are. Please contact the American Radio Relay League at that web address, www.arrl.org. They'll help you get licensed, or at least help you find out about a ham radio club that's near you to help get you on the path to get your ham radio license. It's not that hard. You can do it, my friends. Just take the step, and it's well worth it. If you'd like to contact the show, it's easy. Have a show idea, maybe a question about something on the test, or you'd like to know something about a product. Please feel free and get a hold of me. The connection to me is cqhamradiolive@gmail.com. I'd like to welcome you to the show. Today's a Saturday, and I'm sorry I missed y'all yesterday. I really am. It's 10th of April, 2021. Yours truly was exhausted last night. I fell asleep about 8 p.m. again, just exhausted. And I had questions come through on the email about what it meant to be half-powered. How can a house be half-powered? I'm going to tell you the exact story, everything that we went through, so you have an idea of why this took an awful lot out of yours truly. Before we do that, I'm going to say some big hellos and howdy doos. First of all, Thor, all the way in Minnesota. It's always a pleasure, man. Thank you. So good to see you up there, buddy. Hey, I hope the daffodils are coming up, right? Should be about right now. And Scott's here. His call sign, Kilo Charlie 2, Charlie Alpha Delta. Welcome to the show, Scott. Thanks for coming. Thor said, can't stick around in the middle of a yard project. Hope you have a great show. 73 to you too, my friend. I know. Being from a place in Minnesota myself, I was there for a couple of years. When it gets to be about April, right about this time of year, it doesn't snow as much. And so the yard work starts to become important. And Minnesotans are real good about taking care of their yards. So Thor, I appreciate you stopping by to say hello. Thank you very, very much. All right. I'm going to tell you a little bit of the story about what it means to have your house half powered, because I did have a couple of questions come through on email yesterday, and I thought, well, let me tell the story about how that happens. It's very, very rare. This is an extremely rare circumstance. But since we're in ham radio and we talk a lot about electricity, it's important to maybe talk about how your house is wired and how it wires in from the street. Before I do that, I just noticed my brother Bob downstairs on Wi-Fi. Bob, welcome. It's Happy Sibling Day, by the way. Yep, Happy Sibling Day. Alexa said that, so it must be true. Yep, so there you go. All right, so let me start from the very beginning, all right? Thor, that's very nice. To my brother, hi, Bob, hope you are doing well. Thor, that's really nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bob's doing pretty good. I'm so grateful. Gave him a hug today, said Happy Sibling Day, because I'm grateful he's still here. It's pretty cool. The story really goes back, and this is personal, but you need to understand why this took so much out of me personally. It's a long story. All right. Many years ago, this goes back to 2016, we got this house and we were so thrilled to get it. We really were. we had ordered, my brother and I did, on the anniversary of our mother's passing, a Dodge Challenger. We wanted it because we both had it, the same car. It was a 1970 Challenger. I drove it in high school. My brother then bought it down the road. After my cousin had it, then I got it back. It was like the family Challenger. We just kept selling it and trading it back and forth. Anyway, Bob was the last one in the family to have it. And so when they came back out with the Challenger back in 2008, really wanted one, but thought, if I'm going to get one, I want to order it. Custom order a car from the factory. It'd be so cool. So on the anniversary of her mom's death back in 2016, we did. We ordered it from a Dodge dealership. Well, the problem was it couldn't get the thing off of the train. They wouldn't do anything to get it off the train in time for our financing to be approved. Sounds weird to say, but if they reran our financing, they'd find out now we have a house mortgage and the financing might not have been approved. So we had the choice of either doing it and signing the papers without the car being there yet, or move on to a different car. Well, I had a dream always in my life. In fact, top of my bucket list was to buy an Indy Camaro. Always wanted one. Had an opportunity to drive this car cross country. Bought it in Merrillville, Indiana. Flew to Chicago, flew there and picked a guy there from the dealership, picked me up, went to the dealership and picked this up and got to drive it cross country all the way to Oregon. Let me tell you, that's a dream I'll always cherish. This is a picture of the car in Moab, Utah. So I drove it coast to coast, literally not coast to coast, but from Merrillville, Indiana, all the way to Oregon. Beautiful car. Had a lot of fun with it. Then, unfortunately, we had a really, really bad house fire. And this house fire was one that almost killed us, to be honest with you. This is what we went through, just an idea. Here's what our house looked like after the fire. It was caused from the circuit breaker box inside the house. The forensic person that came through, the fire forensics expert came through and said it was because of the circuit breaker panel. The main power coming into the bar had a nut that over time had loosened up, and over time that incoming power wire hit the side of the breaker box, and literally the house went up in minutes. That's no lie, in minutes. So all the smoke damage, everything that caused from that fire. In fact, let me show you the inside. The inside of our home, the circuit breaker panel, pardon me. The inside of our home was so bad that what they said was the inside of the house was roughly 450 degrees. In fact, this is so hot. Take a look. This is a window. It just melted it. It's 2-pane glass, but it just melted it. And you can tell it's wintertime, a rare snowfall for Oregon. The night it happened, it was 26 degrees. It was roughly 8:30 at night. And my brother and I, with our dog, thankfully got out just in time. I literally went through the house, grabbed coats off of the coat rack, and we had coats on, had our dog. Our neighbors all came out, brought chairs, and we watched our house burn. And thankfully, the Polk County Fire Department came quickly and were able to put it out. Well, what we were left with was pretty rough. So we've been through a house fire, and it was really, really hard to survive that. Now, to give you an idea of what just happened to us and why we weren't on this week, let me try and explain to you just a little bit of the story that we went through. All right. As you know from Tuesday's show, I talked about putting up a PVC pipe, right, for my 80-meter element coming off of the DX Commander antenna. It's the only antenna I have in my whole property, just a 30-meter stick. That's it. But I put an 80-meter element from it. I was going to hold it up on an 8-foot piece of PVC, painted the house color so the neighbors wouldn't mind. Well, the next door neighbor complained about this thing up on his fence, my fence, that was 3 feet higher than the top of the fence. 2 feet, sorry. So I said, well, that bush outside your house is always stabbing us when we can't get our garbage cans in. Oh boy, that caused a brilliant discussion between the two of us, literally, no joke. Yeah, so they finally chopped back the cousin-it plant that's next to our house. That's it. Okay, so they chopped it all down, made it so we can get our garbage cans in. Perfect. Okay. The next day, literally, this is no lie, we're in our home and the lights, they've been flickering in our kitchen forever, like a month or two. We can't figure out what's wrong. I think it's a circuit breaker. So I go out to the circuit breaker box and it keeps on popping. Well, I go to the store because we need some groceries. My brother, bless his heart, he keeps calling over and over again, telling me, Larry, the power went out again. Then he calls me 2 more times. Oh, I'm sorry, pocket dial. Anyway, so it's 9 o'clock. I can't get to a hardware store. So the next morning, 7:30, I get up. I go to the hardware store, pick up a breaker panel. A circuit breaker that can go in the breaker box, right? Simple. It doesn't work. I can't figure out what's going on. Our front room, our hallway, our front porch, rear porch, our powder bathroom, no power. Our refrigerator, no power. But certain power outlets in the kitchen and our family room all work fine. Okay. So I go to Home Depot trying to find circuit breaker. They don't have them. I say, well, what do I do? Where do I find this thing? Well, contact this electric company. So I thought, well, why don't I just call the electric company that repaired our house from the house fire? I mean, after all, they did so much work on rebuilding the house. They'll be somebody that will help us. They're the guys who rebuilt this thing. And literally, our house had to be taken down to the bare studs, then sealed all the way into the rafters, everything, and then rebuilt. Sheetrock, flooring, all of it, everything. These walls, windows, everything. It was that bad. So the electrical company says, no problem, we can get you some circuit breakers. When I'm in there, the lady says, it doesn't make any sense though. You're just tripping this one breaker and you say you got 2 more that are doing the same thing. That seems like a circuit issue. So one of the electricians that was there said, well, I've got nothing to do this afternoon. I'll go take a look. He goes and takes a look at it. And he says, Larry, this isn't the circuit breaker. You're only getting half power to your house. Now, this is where we got the question. John, if you're watching, here is the story and why it makes sense, okay? So we lost the car, we lost the house, everything. It was awful. We were in a hotel for 9 weeks, a rental house for about 6 months to rebuild this home. Okay. When you look at your normal power meter outside your house, it should look something like this, okay? The power company came out, looked at this and said, I can tell right now you've got 240 volts. And I said, well, great. The problem is it doesn't last. Our lights flicker like crazy, and then we lose power in half our home. Well, he said, well, I'll tell you what, let me just show you that everything's fine, and we'll just, call it good. He opens the meter, starts cursing. Literally, I'm not kidding you, starts cursing. And he's like, doggone it, this thing could have cost you another house fire. No joke. Now, at this point, Bob's at a cancer treatment. I've got a cat to get into. There's no lie. Got to get my cat into a vet appointment. And our house has half power. And I'm like, well, what do we do? I'm going to get us in a hotel because we have no heat. And I'm not going to put my wife and brother in a cold home. So, your mind is racing, right? The last thing you want to do is go through another fire. So I'm thinking, I'll call the insurance company that helped us. They said, well, contact Service Master. They helped you through this. They should be able to take care of everything. Okay. Take the cat in, get the cat into the vet, go and pick up my brother about 30 minutes later. And now I've got to figure out what we're going to do because literally we have to call the electrician to have them come out to the house because they now have to fix the problem that's in our outside meter. The lower right jaw, this jaw right here, is what the problem was. If you look carefully at the connector, not the part where the wire is crimped in with the Allen wrench, but the actual connector, you can see the arcing. It's all over. That piece had to be completely replaced. And the guy from the power company could literally twist it. It should be not twistable. It should be firm. So we end up going and contacting the people over at Pacific Power, who is the, electrical utility for us. And the way it has to work is to fix this problem. What they have to do is they have to go and unplug the meter from the house, They then need to take the electrical power to the home and shut it off. The problem, guess what? The problem was the power meter out front. Our neighbors next door who chopped down the cousin it plant because of the PVC pipe, they also planted a bush right next to the doggone power meter outside. No joke. Yep. So they had to cut that thing all the way down to make that work so that the power company could literally get to the power box to open the darn thing up. So the same neighbor that was upset at me for putting an 8-foot PVC pipe, painted our house color up on the fence, chopped down 2 bushes because we had a problem. It was awful. It really was. Meanwhile, Jasper the dog, he's got a vet appointment, and Miley, our other dog, has a vet appointment the next day. Brilliant. And I'm like, how are we going to get through all this? What do we do? So if you ever have this problem, let me show you real quick what it looks like inside a power meter, because this is something that's very, very rare. It doesn't happen very much. And it's why your house can literally be half wired. No joke, half wired. All right. Inside a power meter, there are a set of 4 connectors. Okay, 4. Each one of them is 120 volts. In our case, one of those was set and working properly. So we got that 120 volts. That powered the kitchen, and it powered the family room, and it also powered our bedrooms upstairs. So we had those rooms available. No furnace, no 220. There was nothing 220, only 110. So when you have this happen, I don't know why this thing didn't render over, so bear with me. I'm trying to send it back to the computer so you see it, because it's important for people that are in ham radio to understand how your power meter works and that you can actually get cut to half power. So we had only 120 volts. The other 120 volt leg was disconnected by the power company. They put a little like splice in there to make sure that there was no way the power could come out from that part of the meter over to the house. So we were protected. Okay. Here's what it should look like when you take a look inside your power meter. Okay. Now this is outside your house. Okay. Your power meter should look something like this. There are 2 sets of connectors. Each one of those is 120 volts. Okay. When you have both of them connected, now you have 240 volts. That's how it should be. Unfortunately, the one on the right was the one that's arcing. You can see the arc and the little weld marks right there. That's where we had the problem. Then you have the other side, which is clear. So what had to happen was we literally had to have the people from Pacific Power come over and coordinate with the electrician company to come out and disconnect the wiring to our home after the bush was completely cut down by the neighbors next door who weren't real happy about it. Yeah. So this guy disconnects everything. The electrician comes out, connects everything by, replacing the legs. And then the guy from Pacific Power reconnects the power to the house. And then we have power. That's how you can have only 120 volts. It's so rare that one side of a power meter will not work and the other side does. Usually it works brilliantly. But what happened to us was we have 3 circuit breakers that are lighting in like yellow, saying that there is a circuit fault in the system. The circuit fault was the fact that that right leg was arcing. That was the problem. So there you go. That's how your house can have half power and not be fully powered up. And I got to tell you, I am so sorry I couldn't do the show yesterday. I was exhausted by 8. I went to bed at 8 p.m. again. I was just exhausted. And part of it really is because when you go through a fire, you don't realize all the stuff you've got to do. Really, you're working with, the insurance company, the contractor who's rebuilding your home, another adjuster who's taking care of all the things that were lost, which is everything in your house. And you've got to itemize it all. I mean, it's a process you won't believe, but let me tell you what happened through it all. I was cleaning the garage. True story. Cleaning the garage. I found in this big old pile of ashes and stuff from the rafters that came down, in the garage. The day they pulled the Camaro out, the Camaro it was a melted mess. And I'm cleaning it up. I find a picture of my mother, and I don't have many of them, but there was a picture of my mom, and the outside of the frame was burned and singed, but the picture was still good. And it was such a hard day. I was crying my eyes out when they towed the Camaro out, because that was something that was a bucket list, and it meant a lot to me. And I swear, no lie, I heard this very, very clear voice, Challenger. It was right there. No joke. 7 months it sat there on the dealer lot. 7 months. That was a car we custom ordered. The assistant sales manager comes out and he's yelling at me. How dare you? You sold that car. We can't sell it for 7 months. We bought that thing for you and now we can't sell it. I said, you sold it today, mister. Yeah. No lie. That's what happened. Seriously, that's exactly what happened. So the cow that we originally ordered came through. Okay. And what's interesting about that, and I'll just share the end of the story because it is an interesting story if you think about all that we went through. The car itself, if it had arrived in time, would have been completely destroyed by this fire. Here's what it looks like today, by the way. That's it. We find out from Chrysler that it's one of only 3 that they made in that color, in that configuration in 2016. And you know what? We're really proud of that. We really are. It's something that we had wanted a long time. And it's just a miracle that it came. But had it come off the train in time, it would have been destroyed in the fire. Sometimes in life, things don't mean no, they just mean not now. So please remember that. It's something I learned the hard way. Don't go through a house fire. Make sure your stuff's wired right. And if you see flickering lights when you turn lights on, take a careful look. Look at those circuit breakers. And if you have the problem, your circuit breaker keeps popping and there's no reason for it, call yourself an electrician. That's the best advice I can give you. Don't do what we went through. Okay? Big hellos. Johan is here from Barcelona, Spain. Johan, welcome. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. I mean that. He's my shortwave buddy. Stu Foster's here. Sorry I'm late. No, you're not late. You're here. Stu's call sign, Golf 7. He's Golf 7, Whiskey Alpha Yankee. Also, big thanks as well to the Radio Society of Great Britain. They're going to do what they can to help. His name is Steve Thomas. His call sign, Mike 1, Alpha Charlie Bravo. Mike 1, Charlie Alpha Bravo. Bless Steve's heart. What he's going to do, because it is difficult to find answers for the Great Britain test. UK test isn't easy to find answers for. So what I'm going to try and do is get the study books for the, foundation, the intermediate, and the full exam. Study and try and get those to a point where I can explain them correctly to you. I'm not a substitute for your study, but I can maybe give you some tips to help you with the test to make things hopefully a little more understandable. Okay, there you go. All right, again, if you'd like to get in amateur radio, please contact the ARRL. They will help connect you to a local radio club near you. Find them at www.arrl.org. And a dash from Trinidad. Talk about being honored. That's a very long ways away from me. A dash, I'd like to welcome you to the show. Thank you. Says they're monitoring the volcano on St. Vincent, another island in the Caribbean. If you haven't heard that, fantastic story right now. In the Caribbean, there's a volcano going off, and that's near him. So Trinidad and Kadesh, of course, all are very best to you. If you'd like to monitor that frequency, you can find it on 40 meters at 7.188. He's going to be back and forth. He's listening on the Kiwi SDR, but if you're somewhere in the Southeast U.S. or somewhere maybe in the Caribbean, 7.188 is what they're using for the frequency there. Gunter, Electric Boogiers, is in the house from Germany. We're going to talk about you today, buddy. Mm-hmm. Yes, we are. We are. Stu, just worked a guy in South Africa with my end-fed 66-foot wire with 8,000 miles. Whoa! Stu! My man. Congratulations. That's a great QSO, man. Down to South Africa. That's always a good one to get. Alan, thank you so much for coming. It's great to see you too. His call sign, Kilo Zero Alpha Delta Lima. Alan, it is my honor to see you today. Thanks for coming. Yep, I mean that. So you folks that are near the Caribbean, monitor there at 7.188 on 40 meters. That's where they're doing emergency comms right now. And hopefully, maybe if you can help, try and do so. All right, we're going to talk about some hams doing some ham stuff around the world. Now, this is kind of cool. I don't even know if Gunter knows this yet, but it's pretty cool. I want to show you, first of all, a really neat video. Now, this is done by a person you saw yesterday. His name is Tom. Tom's call sign, in Bahrain is Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey. Well, one night, Tom is listening because Tom works a lot of remote. At his house, he has a lot of noise. His noise floor is pretty high. So Tom will go out and work remote a lot. And he brings his camera with him. He uploads to YouTube. Find Tom at Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey. Tom hears Gunter trying to make a call to California on the Big Gun net. Now, we'll talk about that in a moment, but take a look. Here's Tom in Bahrain, picking up Gunter lightly, but hearing him trying to make a call. Take a look.
This guy's in California. I'm in Bahrain. The QSO he's having with is with another gentleman in Germany. And we heard Gunter in there trying to give him a call as well. He's Whiskey 6 Foxtrot Delta Romeo. And the German ID, I'm not sure.
Okay, let's see there. DK5 ONV is still on. Okay, did Mel come up and signal for you?
Yeah, that's Gunter trying to talk to him.
Okay, did you hear him talk, Mel? Over? Negative. Okay, real good. Just too bad there. Yeah, he's still monitoring, and I was asking, whether he had probably a little bit better copy on you. It's probably a matter of 1, 2, 3 dBs of signal increase, and then it would be working A-okay. Well, Mel, see, the thing is, I have on this radio here, it's the
Okay, so that is Tom, Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey. All right. Tom is in Bahrain, but he's working remotely. Okay, so he's got a portable antenna set up. He's working from the back of his vehicle on a Yaesu 991 Alpha. All right. Gunter is another person that watches the channel. Here's Gunter right here. How about that? He had no idea I'm going to do this. He has no idea. You can find Gunter, by the way, here on YouTube at DK5ONV. He's got some nice stuff there. He really does. Really has a passion for DX. All right, let's take a listen. Here is Uncle Gunter, also known as Hollywood Gunter. He has lots of little nicknames, but he works great DX. I'm really proud of him. I'd like to share something with you from his channel. I hope you enjoy. This will show you just how powerful and how wonderful the Kenwood 590 SG really is. Here's Gunter.
And I did get to meet Joe once at Dayton. That was quite a while ago, though. And he's still very active on doing things. He keeps making improvement on his WSJTX program. He just came out with a new version that's the guys on Moon Bouncer are using the Q65 now, which is even more sensitive than the JT65. And yeah, Jim, I haven't heard that perfect woman thing in a long, long time. I agreed on it then, and I think I agree on it now too. So yeah, it was good to hear that again. And Gunter, let's see, you were 5'9" plus 10 last heard, and Germany is known for some great brews. So what, in your opinion, is the best brew in Germany? 10/9, DK5ONV, K8CX.
Good evening, Major Tom, K8CX, DK5ONV. You're also up to a 10/S9, sometimes down to an S9. It's just Mother Nature. In my opinion, I'm a beer drinker. I love Pilsner beer, I love some lager beer, and I love those Bavarian wheat beers. And my favorite beer from Bavaria is that black beer, Franziskaner, down from Bavaria. The guy, what do you call that? It's not a priest. Man, I forgot the word. You need to help me out. I'm gonna find that on the internet, and I'm gonna send you the link. I love those dark wheat beer from Bavaria. Not the super strong beer, the regular version. It has, I believe, 5.3% of alcohol. Back to you, Major Tom.
Okay, Uncle Gunter, thanks a lot there. And yeah, send me an email on what you just said there. 'Cause I really couldn't understand to write down the names of those. So you send me the links or the name. And I got this beer distributor over here that does specialize in getting foreign beers in. So maybe I'll even try to pick up one of your favorites there and give it a review. So very good. And Mr. Pete, yeah, you were 5'8" when I first heard you, but when you called me, you just dipped down to nothing. So I don't know where it's at right now, but sorry I missed you there. Let's try it. Y07 MPD, Y07 MPD, K8CX. How copy, Mr. Pete?
There's Colonel Pete down in Illinois. I wasn't prepared that Major Tom would call me up right now. We're talking about beers, we're talking about all kinds of stuff, and that makes the Big Gun Friendship Net so special. Some nights when there's a lot of business, a lot of participants, and the band is open into several areas across the world, into the continents, and then you have to keep everything short. You know, if you work South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Indian Ocean regions, Oceania, you know, then it's mostly just about saying hello, how you doing, giving the stations a signal report, and in our peaks we had over 30 stations participating in one evening, and this is quite a job to do for Lee, K3VOX, and then Angel WP3R and Professor Jim WA3FET. They were helping co-managing the group, because sometimes it gets out of control. That guy is unable to hear that guy, and then this guy thought he was in line, and then they push in the microphone and they're talking and doubling and tripling, and then it takes 2 or 3 stations with very, very, very good ears. They helping out to keep the frequency clean and everything in order. They all doing a great job. This is adorable. Lee is doing that 5 days a week or 5 nights a week, running the Big Gun Friendship Net. So, and this deserves all the respect and honor to everyone.
Okay, take a close look. We're going to pause this for just a moment. Look at the clock on the left side of the screen. Take a look at that. Gunter is up at 3 a.m. in Germany to make these calls. How about that? 3 a.m. That's after a full day. He'll tell you about that in a second. Before we go any further, remember, if you want to monitor the volcanic activity in Caribbean, 7.188 on 40 meters is where you'll find updates on the volcano. Sean, I'll get to you in a moment. Back to Gunter and his amazing work.
Doesn't matter if he has a big antenna or just a wire antenna like me, or even if it is a mobile whip. Now we're talking about mobile. Excellent. The rocket ship, man. M3, M0 KPD, Commander Rob. And he is here with us every night, and there is no band that he is unable to work as a mobile station from his semi-truck, I believe. So that's adorable too. He makes it across the pond. I don't know how much power he gets in his truck. It could be just the radio power, or at least the legal limit, which is allowed in the UK's. I believe it's 400 watts peak. Yes. So he is doing excellent too. Everyone does. And that's why I take a 35 minutes walk at nights, one way to the club station and another 35 minutes back, in snow, in ice rain, in bitter cold weather. There's just some exceptions. When I don't make it over here is when I don't feel well, or when I'm just tired because I've been spending 6 or 7 hours outside in the field as a portable station, riding with my bike, having the trailer with me, and then you come home in the evening after sundown, you eat something, you're spending some time with the girlfriend, checking emails, doing all these things, and then I'm laying down to have a power nap for like 3 or 4 hours, and when my alarm goes down 2 o'clock in the morning local time here, sometimes I just open the eye and look at my iPhone alarm and go like, get up, Gunter? No, get up. Okay, I'm getting up. Yeah. So that's my motivation, and thank you for everyone of the BGFN, and to all YouTubers for stopping by, watching my channel, dropping off a like and a subscribe, and chatting with me and posting comments. I really like that. You're all doing a great job. Without you, this wouldn't be just half of fun what it actually right now is. This is big fun. Thank you to everyone. Have a good sleep. And yeah, you're absolutely right on that. Uncle Gunter fully agrees. We need to do a live stream again. I need to work something out over here. This spot is really tiny. Normally I should have both transceivers in line, I mean side by side, to do some one-to-one comparison, you know. But that little spot here doesn't allow it. I could maybe put the icon maybe here aside of the amplifier, and then just using an antenna switch to have some comparison, you know, about the receive and the filters, which radio sounds better with you know, with the noise reduction, and we could play around, you know. I will work something out like that, but definitely I'm saying both transceivers are excellent transceivers. I don't want to say anything bad. Even that Kenwood is Kenwood, you know, but I love my IC7300.
That's Gunter. DK50NV. You can find him here on YouTube. Just search his call sign, DK50NV. He works a lot of DX. You know, there's some people that like to work DX when it's just comfortable for them to go upstairs. For Gunter, he has to walk 35 minutes to the club station. You can see where he's at. He's in an attic. He has a G5 RV. Yep. And that is his Kenwood 590 Sugar Golf. Beautiful radio. Beautiful radio, Gunter. Nice work. So if you want to find him on YouTube, find him at DK5ONV. It's DK5ONV. Good guy. Truly a good man. And same with Tom. Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey. Find him here on YouTube as well for some of his DX work. And I just received something that I want to stop show for because this is way too important. Sean Casey, this is such a nice compliment. Thank you. I mean that sincerely. Going to get my ham radio license when I get back to the States. Good for you, man. Good for you. Sean, I can promise you a couple of things. Study hard. It does take study, okay? Thank you for the kindness about the channel. That means everything to me. Seriously, you've just made my day, Sean. Thank you. It will take some study. I hope that the channel can help you with some of the elements to make them a little more understandable. That's the whole point here, is to try and take the $40 questions and make them sound like $1 questions so they're easy to understand, and use those principles when you go to take the test so you understand them better. So if you get this $40 question, you understand it's only going to be maybe it's a $10 answer. I don't know. Anyway, thank you, Sean. That's a comment I'll always be grateful for. Thank you so much. And Gunter, thank you. You're welcome. It is an honor. Folks, we're going to close the show. I can't promise, but I'd like to do DX tonight at 10. I'll do my best. You can see now why this really took a lot out of me. When you lose almost everything, including your life, and then you go through this and you don't know who to call and everyone's blaming each other, and then you've got to coordinate appointments. You still got medical appointments for your brother. You got vet appointments. You got your own medical appointments. In the middle of all of this, it's just overwhelming, and it just gassed me. So forgive me for not being on last night. It's my favorite thing to do this show. I love doing this. It takes a lot out of me to not do this. I mean, I have to be really crashed to not do it. So to be in bed at 8 o'clock last night, I was pretty done. Please, hopefully join me tonight, and we'll hopefully have the Flex Radio unboxed by then and maybe give it a shot. We'll see how well it does. I mean, I'd love to be able to open the darn box. That'd be nice. So we're going to go ahead and close the show. I'm going to use the same sign off, by the way. And the reason why, Glenn Stevenson, my mate from Australia, got a hold of me. And this is a great email. I want to share this with you so you can appreciate this, what's called close down outside the U.S. U.S. calls them sign-offs, okay? But close downs outside the U.S. when a TV station signs off the air for the night, right? All right. So here is what Glenn wrote. And I want you to understand the importance when you watch the sign-off, okay? He said, Larry, thanks for the show. The guy singing was Peter Allen. He was one of Australia's great entertainers and showmen, much like Liberace. So this would be like the Liberace for Australia. He died too young at 48 and wrote many wonderful songs specific to Australia. I thought you might like to listen to the complete song while you were working hard on your next show. And he sent me the link to it. Glenn, thank you, mate. You're a good mate of mine, and I think the world of you. And I know you're probably watching this on replay. Thank you, Glenn. It means the world to me. Because of that email, I'm going to send the same sign off a second time. So this is the one we ran yesterday. But understand, it's a special one. This one comes from a wonderful entertainer named Peter Allen, who died way too young. Until hopefully later today on CQ Calling, my name's Larry. My call sign is Kilo 7 Hotel November. It's been my honor and privilege to spend this time with you today and share with you some of the great work that ham radio operators are doing from around the world. Until next time, God bless you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful day, okay? All right, see you.
Sleep maker.
Mr. Sleepy wishes you a very good night. Sleep well with the comfort and support of your Sleepmaker mattress and base. Ah, pleasant dreams.
Well, that brings to an end another day's viewing here on Channel 9, serving northern Tasmania on translator services Channel 11, Derby, South Launceston, St Mary's, Smithton and Waratah, Channel 5A, Table Cape, Channel 6 at Circular Head, Channel 7, St Helens and Savage River, Channel 10, Burnie, and UHF Channel 48, East Devonport. We trust you've enjoyed the programs presented for you today and invite you to join us tomorrow morning for another day's viewing. On behalf of the management and staff, we bid you a very good evening.